It's time to move into a new planner. I have spent years of trial and error perfecting what I need to make my planner work best for me. So let me show you what I did to this planner to make sure that it can help me stay on task for the rest of the year while still being pretty enough for me to look at every day. Okay, so first things first, what did I use to actually put this planner together? I'm using a disc-bound planner. Disc-bound planners basically let you do whatever you want with them. You could put any pages that you want into whatever order that you want to put them in. When I'm starting to put together a new disc-bound planner, I usually like to start with an existing planner kind of as a base, and then I'll add and remove and move pages from there. So for this planner, it actually started with the Everyday Magic Classic Size Dashboard Layout Happy Planner. I used part of that planner earlier in the year, so this planner is just the remaining pages, July through December 2025. I think the monthly calendar layouts are really pretty, and it gives me a weekly dashboard layout, which is what I've been using a lot recently, so that I can have one full page for my schedule for the week, and then one full page for my lists and notes and basically anything else that I need to add for that week. I'm still not sure how I feel about the brown ink used on these pages, but I think it's starting to grow on me. Now, technically, the 2-page calendar spreads and the weekly dashboard pages of this planner could be enough to get me through the rest of the year, but of course I like to make things more complicated than they need to be. So to give me even more functionality in my planner, I decided to add some pages from a monthly layout happy planner, which gives a couple of extra pages of monthly dashboards and enough checklists to last me through the month. And as much as I liked the cover and the discs from this monthly planner that I'm pulling in, I did have some other ideas in mind for this new planner because I found this scrapbook paper at Michael's the other day, and I knew that I wanted to use it in this new planner. Somehow, the paper reminded me of the bedspread that I have that I really love, and honestly, I think it might actually be my bedspread, which is also the exact same as my shower curtain. Clearly, I love this image, so I ended up getting this muted Mariposa happy planner with the intention of just using the cover. And I could not be happier with how the cover looks with my bedspread shower curtain scrapbook paper. And with a new cover, of course I had to get new discs to match. So I bought these Thalia 1-inch metal discs. The description says that they're copper, but they look more of like a chocolatey bronze sort of color, which is perfect. When it comes to actually putting all of the planner pieces together or Franken planning, usually it's easier to start with your discs and your cover first. So first things first, I put my Muted Mariposa cover onto my Thalia metal discs, and then I cut down and punched my scrapbook paper to go with the cover. I did kind of misalign the punches for the back cover, which is kind of a bummer, but it doesn't bother me enough to go through the whole process of buying a whole new paper and cutting it down and punching the new paper. I'm just dealing with it. And then since the Everyday Magic Dashboard Planner was the base, I added those pages next. With all that put together, all that was left was to put the monthly layout pages into this planner, which was probably the most complicated part of the whole thing. Because here's the thing, I couldn't make it easy for myself and just add those pages into this planner. Part of the reason that I love the monthly layout planner is because it has these like monthly dashboard things on the back of the monthly calendars. But I'm not using the monthly calendars from the monthly layout planner. I'm using the monthly calendars from my dashboard Everyday Magic Planner. But I wanted them combined together into like one set of pages. So I decided, for whatever reason, what would make me most happy would be to take the monthly dashboards from the monthly layout planner and paste them to the monthly calendar pages from my base dashboard planner, which was a very ambitious idea for me, but I think it ended up turning out okay. I decided to use tape runner sticky stuff instead of like a glue stick. I just find it easier to manage. I was really worried that I wasn't going to be able to line up the pages because I wanted it to look like these Everyday Magic calendar pages came with these monthly dashboards already attached to them. So I was very nervous throughout the whole process, but I think I did a relatively decent job. It did get a little bit messy and sticky at some points, and I'm sure some of the pages aren't lined up as perfectly as they could be, but overall it works. Now I have all of the pages that I want in this planner without any of the pages that I don't want. My vision has come to life and I'm very happy. Now, because I've moved some things around, it does change how the first dashboard of the first week of each month is going to look, because the back of the last page of the monthly layout checklists is that next month planning ahead page. Okay, I know I just made that way more complicated than I needed to. So before we move on, let's flip through and see what all of this looks like put together. So first we have that cover, which I think looks incredible, all put together. This nameplate page is from the monthly layout planner. And then we have the year overview pages and the month at a glance pages, also from the monthly layout planner. And then I had this extra year at a glance page from Day by Design planners, which I decided to add in here. And then we have that monthly calendar spread, and pasted on the back of that are those monthly dashboards, then the monthly checklists, then that first week's dashboard, and then the rest of my weekly dashboard pages. I will be adding more pages into this planner as the year goes on, especially for memory keeping, if nothing else. But for the most part, these are the pages that I'm going to be working with for the next 6 months. So if you know me and my planners at all, you'll know that one of the most important things in my planner is my color coding system. So I knew that before I wanted to write anything in this planner, I needed to figure out my color coding system so that I knew what tools to use to start writing in this planner. Well, I guess I didn't need to, but I wanted to. For writing the plans in my planner, I stick with using colorful pens. Each pen has its own use, mostly to indicate different types of plans or events. I'm using a combination of the Staedtler Tri-Plus Fineliner pens, these Tanis gel pens that I got from Amazon forever ago, and Uniball Signo DX pens. And then my trusty gray Zebra Sarasa Clip as my go-to pen. For organizing and labeling lists and notes in my planner, I've been using a lot of highlighters lately. This is the first year that I've functionally used highlighters since school, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's taken me so long to get back to highlighters. It helps keep me organized, and also it's just really pretty. So I'm using a selection of Mr. Pen highlighters from the Morandi and Earthly colors sets. As much as I love these highlighters, they aren't really the greatest at keeping the barrel true to the actual color of the highlighter, which can make it kind of difficult to remember which one I need to use for which color, for what type of color coding. So I did end up labeling the caps just with clear tape and permanent marker. I also use these highlighters to help organize my video content schedule. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily helpful with keeping me organized, but I just like how it looks. So to help me keep track of when I've uploaded videos, I'll write it in my planner and mark it with the designated colored highlighter. I don't like writing in my video schedule with pen ahead of time though, just because we both know I am not good at staying on top of my YouTube upload schedule. So when I'm planning my upload schedule, I like to use sticky notes. That way I can easily move that video when I need to inevitably postpone the upload schedule. And I think I've done a pretty good job with matching my Mr. Pen highlighters to these little sticky notes from that brand that I don't know how to pronounce. I do have a color coding key to help me keep track of all of this at the front of my planner, and then I keep all of my color coding supplies in my pencil case that I always keep with my planner. I am never with my planner without my color coding supplies. We have the planner, we have the supplies, time to actually start using this planner. You know me, first things first, we gotta get the holidays, anniversaries, and birthdays into this planner. I do like seeing these holidays on both the monthly and the weekly view. So for each holiday, I have to write it in twice unless the planner already has it printed on the monthly calendar pages. For those monthly calendar pages, I'm really mostly going to use them for content planning for this planner. In the past, I've had multiple calendars in my planner for tracking things for work and health and events and traveling And honestly, I've realized that I don't really use those calendars, and the only thing that I've really consistently used a monthly view for is for scheduling content. Whether I follow through with that schedule is beside the point. But when I'm attempting to schedule content, I like to do it looking at a month at a time. And then there might be some other little notes that I write in these pages if I think it might affect the scheduling of my content. These monthly dashboard pages are also probably mostly going to be content related. In my last planner, I used these pages in the social media and content section and filled up these pages with various notes throughout each month. So I intend on using these pages in the same way in this planner. Next, we have these monthly checklists. I've kind of been experimenting how I use these checklists over the past few months. I haven't really mastered that system yet, but I have plenty of checklists for each month, which gives me tons of room to kind of experiment each month. For my weekly dashboards, I just kind of use those however I need to use them for that week. And then of course, there's the weekly schedule pages. In the Happy Planner dashboard layout, there's an extra little space in the corner. I usually like to use that section as a habit tracker. And then for the actual days themselves, I'll usually split it down the middle and use half of that day to track my actual schedule for that day. And then the other half of the day I use as kind of like a date specific checklist. So if there's things that have to get done on that specific day, I'll write it on that date. If it's something that I just want to get done at some point throughout that week, I'll put it in that week's dashboard. If it's something that has to get done with even less of a time constraint, that's when it goes on the monthly checklist. But okay, clearly I love using planners for planning things, helping me stay on top of schedules and to-do lists. But sometimes I want something that's a little less productivity focused and a little bit more reflective, a place that I can record my life as it's happening. And that is where my bullet journal comes in. Yes, of course, I had to get a new bullet journal that matches my new planner. I also wanted to get a new bullet journal because the last bullet journal that I got with the intention of using it for the full year ended up getting used up a lot more quickly than I was expecting. I haven't finished this bullet journal, and the OCD part of my brain was like, ew, what are you gonna do? Switch to a brand new journal in the middle of the year, willy-nilly, just whenever you happen to run out of pages? And I could just predict having a complete breakdown whenever that happens. So I just decided to avoid that meltdown and switch to a new bullet journal when I switch to a new planner. So there you go. This one is a different brand. It's Tifasi. I think I'm saying that right. This notebook has 190 pages. I used about 118 pages of my first bullet journal to get through the first 6 months of the year. So I think 190 pages to get through the rest of the year is going to be a good size for me. I do have a video already going over my current bullet journaling process, so I'll try to remember to link that down below if it's something that you're interested in. I don't plan on changing my bullet journal process too much in this notebook. I'm still going to organize it by month. I'll still have my monthly collection pages that have everything from current events to budgeting to health tracking kind of stuff. I really want to use my bullet journal as something to be a little bit more reflective or to reach for as things are happening, and then keeping my planner to be more of a place where I can schedule things ahead of time. But I'm curious, what about you? Are you using paper planners this year? Let me know.